Khuli Chana.
That's my favorite song on the album.
Really?
Yeah, I love.
We're getting straight into it. You can hear Khuli's always ready to go, always showing up with a whole hell of a lot of fun and always ready to talk to me.
Yeah.
So, I get it, taken off Planet of the Have-Nots.
Yeah.
Why is this your favorite one?
It reminds me of Keith Murray. Takes me back to like 90s hip hop. And yeah, man, it's just like that's my pocket. It's when I'm in my bag, you know?
Yeah.
It's effortless.
Right.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Planet of the Have-Nots. Because I have not had you in studio since it dropped. When I had you here the last time, you had just dropped Ichu.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
That was before the release of the album.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
So we haven't had a chance to chop it up about Planet of the Have-Nots. Let's speak something very simple. The title. Why that? Because somebody could easily argue, Khuli, you're not a have-not.
Yeah.
Why are you making an album about Planet of the Have-Nots?
Yeah. Interesting. So, title was inspired by the song Have-Nots.
Right, which I love. That's number 2.
Co-written by MDB, Madlera Doughboy, and we were struggling to find a title for the album.
Right.
At one point, there was a Motswakoriginator too.
Really?
At one point, I was like, nah. But the title was inspired by Madlera Doughboy. Madlera Doughboy comes from one of the roughest neighborhoods.
Yeah.
He comes from the other side, and he exposed me to the other side and how our music touches people on the other side. So he gave me a whole new purpose, at a time when I was just like not really feeling the music thing, and it was just like, okay, cool, bro. If you're not gonna do it for this, then do it for the have-nots.
Right.
You understand me? Because it uplifts them. It gives them hope. It gives them a sense of pride that one of us made it out.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And I felt like this album, this is a phase in my career where I now send the elevator down. You understand me? For the have-nots.
For the
have-nots, yeah.
All right, so if we had to characterize the Planet of the Have-Nots into 5 words, what would those words be? And also, what do we call people on the Planet of the Have-Nots? We don't call them Martians. What do we call them?
Jeez. There's a lot of ways to define a have-not for me. I think when I made this album, I knew that just like Motswakoriginator, I needed to have a album title that could spark conversation.
Yeah.
Motswakoriginator was like, oh, okay, what do you mean? Are you saying
you are the one?
Hey, how? You know what I'm saying? And with this one was like, okay, I know this will spark conversation, and people will assume that it's speaking to less privileged.
Right.
You understand me? But it speaks to a lot of things, man. It speaks to the guy who's super talented and just does not have the goal, does not have the inspiration or the motivation to get up and do it. You understand me? So, and for me, honestly, I put it out there as, this is my purpose. This is who I want to represent moving forward.
Right.
And for me, the guy in my head right now who I'm speaking to would be Madlera Doughboy, who comes from a neighborhood that is like so rough, but he's made it out. You understand me? I could never define it for you.
Right.
It was just like, this is the beginning, and as we grow, it'll start to take life.
Right.
Yeah. And we want to talk about things that I've done earlier this year before this horror movie started.
Yes. Because
Yeah.
the film.
Yeah.
Honestly.
We shuttled about 4 districts, up and coming artists in the Northwest.
Right.
Up and coming artists, artist managers, guys want to be publishers. Shuttle them for Mahala, brought them out to come and just soak in knowledge. So we had industry.
Yes, I remember seeing that.
We had a creative workshop. Yeah,
there was a workshop. I think was Nadia there?
Nadia was there.
Yes.
Nadia was out there. JR. Who else? Joy of Jazz.
Yes,
CEO.
I remember seeing
Ricky
all of that.
Rick was out there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just sharing some jewels around the guys who want to go into eventing, the guys who want to manage artists, the guys who Nota was there to talk about, obviously, music distribution.
Yeah.
So think of it as a new purpose, as a new journey, you know, for me to start giving back to the guys who don't have the opportunity. You understand me? You know, they're not that exposed, real talk.
Yeah,
They would have to come to Joburg. You understand me? So yeah, man, we took industry giants and the industry to Mafikeng. And yeah, those are the type of moves.
I really want to unpack that a little bit more, but before we do that, I'm going to play your favorite song from your own album. I'm going to play I Get It, and then we're going to come back and speak more about why you've gotten this new lease and this new approach. And I also want to touch on what it was or is about Maglera Doughboy that inspired you so much, because there are so many others like him, but there has to be something about him specifically that made you stand up and go, okay, this is what it's about. It's just gone 14 minutes after 2 o'clock. Khuli Chana is here all the way until 3 o'clock. I'm about to play you I Get It. He says it's his favorite off of the album. I'll let you know my favorite two. There are two that I absolutely love. Very different, but I love them, and I'll tell you why. So, what was it about Maglera Doughboy that resonated with you so much that you decided to change your approach to certain things and be very, very intentional about being there and showing up for the have-nots?
Maglera is so wise, man. And 2014, 2015 is when I met him. I was working on the One Source project.
Yes.
And I was in a bit of a weird space musically. And it was like a work in progress. You understand me?
Yeah.
And we worked on a couple of joints. He did a couple of adlibs actually on the One Source.
Really?
Yeah, so he co-wrote, he was there. He literally, at one point, he kind of had to hold my hand through it, you know, because I had gotten to a point where I think we had this chat where the confidence was just like,
yes, we did have
gone.
this chat. Yeah.
You understand me? But Maglera, his sense of like purpose and his sense of like his understanding for what we do really resonated with me, and it ignited something in me, because he had to literally drum it into my head as to, your existence and the work that you've put in means something.
Wow.
You understand me? Yeah. And it took a while, and it's crazy the conversation that we have right now and how excited he is about the space that I'm in. Only now in hindsight I'm like, damn, I must have been in a hole. It must have been bad. But, you know, he carried me through it, you know, and those conversations about, he used to constantly say, don't worry about the numbers. Let's just worry about the work. You understand? Let's inspire, you know. Do it for a kid like me who was once kokanana, and I'm just listening to your records, and it inspired me to, you understand me, to stop working on some music and hustle harder. You understand me? Yeah, so he really tapped into that, and yeah, man, he did a great job. He Dr. Filled me hard.
How and why is it that you allowed yourself to be in a position where you are learning from somebody who is younger than you, somebody who is less experienced than you? Because I find that a lot of the times, you know, people will be like, yeah, I'm an OG, I've been doing this, but clearly that wasn't the case with you. So why did you put yourself in a space where you were teachable, but not only teachable, but teachable by someone who is less experienced than you?
Yeah, I think a lot of people, you know, associate humility with just huikoba, you know. But humility is when you go, I don't know what the F I'm doing right now. So I'm gonna learn from this kid, and that's the thing. And I think if I had to, you know, one of the things I attribute my success to is that has given me longevity is the willingness to learn from a younger dude.
Yeah.
You understand me? Yeah. So I had to come into this thing at one point and go, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm gonna listen, and yeah, man, and I'm gonna let go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas that's true. A lot of OGs go, nah, B, yo, I'm 10, 15 years deep. You understand me? And that really helped. And I won't lie, that wasn't easy.
Yeah.
It was not easy to show your cracks, and like that's not easy. Yeah. Yeah, but opening up and letting go, and letting people help you. Yeah, that was the formula for me.
This might be a difficult question, but what is the greatest lesson that you learned from him through this whole process?
Work. Like, his work ethic is sickening.
Really?
Yeah, it was just like, the only, what I got from him is that your anxiety is caused by your lack of work. The more you work, the less anxious you are. So the more excited you are about, can't wait for people to hear this. But if you stay in your bubble, stay in your head, then you're always anxious. You understand me? So yeah, I would say I got that from him. I mean, he's about 2 tapes in right now. He hasn't dropped.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of buzz around Madlera right now.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm just like, when you gonna wrap up? You have to release. It's time to drop. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'd say that I learned that, the more I work, the less anxious. Period.
All right.
Yeah, man.
Work. It's just gone 22 minutes after 2 o'clock. Khuli Chana is here all the way until 3. I'm going to play Khuli Chana and Cassper Nyovest with Ichu. Maybe he'll reteach me the dance, Mara. I don't think I've quite gotten it right. And then we're going to come back and talk to him a little bit more. Khuli, I want to talk to you about something. Your adlibs throughout. These are guy.
Adlibs. I'm a big fan of Busta.
Yeah.
But I'm also from an era of like the adlibs.
Yeah.
The adlibs, like, that's one of the things I master. If you listen to the old Morafe records.
Yes.
Yeah. One of my best songs, like, period. Talking catalog.
Yes.
Hazardous Move.
Yes.
How we created Hazardous Moves, we laid the adlibs first.
What?
So we went fede. Shop fede. Budding. Oh, and worry. Wow. That's what we did the whole song. Once, twice, 3 times. It was like that. We bumped it like that for about maybe 2-3 hours. Then we wrote the verse around the ad-libs. But you know where I got that from? I watched Jabba record Tswaka.
Yes.
One night we're in the studio with Jabba, and it was a very awkward session because we didn't understand what he was doing.
Right.
So Rumushebi Lemo going dumping. Oh lolo. Which one of y'all will I be taking to the level of the? And the song was like that for about an hour.
Yeah.
He goes out, smokes a little bit, comes back, and then he rapped all the way. The whole song. Wow. And it sounded like a live performance, like like the ad-libs are already there. That's like the coolest way to record any song. That
is insane. But now when that's the case, so you hear the beats, how do you even come up with what an ad-lib is supposed to be? Because when we hear it, obviously we hear the verse and then we hear the ad-libs in between or under it. So how do you know what goes where?
Hey. that's what makes us who we are. As it's that, that's what makes us who we are. But I think the idea of ad-libs, even with let's take Tswada for instance, take it from like the ciphers, it's like you try and imagine if you had like dudes around you going yo, echoing every word. That's I think for me that's the feel I always try and get into a song.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Right.
But the ad-lib game, I mean, that I also got from Kwaito.
Yes.
Kwaito, yeah. That's where I got the ad-libs. TKZ, Crowded Crew. Yeah. That's where it's from.
That is insane. I'm always interested to hear how you go about making music, because even when you were telling me about how Tswada came about the last time when you were here, I was like, what do you mean you guys were just in a vibe? And Bro X was like, just go in and do something. We'll figure it out.
And those are the best songs. When I listen to a lot of my songs, the songs that like where I was overthinking, going to a mountain for like 6 months, those never really pop. Like, it's those ones where it's just like, yo, let's just have fun. That comes through. It comes through,
But when that's
in the music.
When that's the case, do you not then worry or get concerned like, I might not be able to recreate that again because there's no formula to it?
Yeah.
So do you not worry like, okay, I don't know if I'll ever be able to create like another order or yo, because sometimes people think that, okay, this is the formula, we're going to step in, we're going to do step 1, step 2, step 3, but if you're saying no, it's just the way.
Yeah, there'll never be another Tswara. Forget it. There'll never. I'll probably come close, but nah, you know, and like I remember second album Lost in Time, and, you know, and the fear was just like, yo, second album, everybody's worried. Everybody was worried that it was gonna bomb.
Really?
Yeah.
Including you?
Yeah, real talk. Because it's like, geez, if your first album becomes like a classic, jeez, I've seen a lot of guys start here and not be able to maintain.
True.
Yeah, and you know, that's the second album, that's the album that scooped best album. My first hip hop album to scoop best album at the Summers. Nice. And that was because I had to let go of, I had to stop listening to Motswakoriginator. It's like, I'm not gonna listen to my old stuff. I don't listen to the radio. We're just gonna start from scratch and like, yeah, go with a whole new vibe. Yeah,
that is insane. Talk to me about Magic. So we spoke to Beat Muchini like a while ago. Yeah. Because remember, AB and I decided we were rappers one day.
Yeah, I saw that. AB.
So we decided we were rappers one day. Yeah. We selected the Magic beats and we decided this is what we're gonna do. Yeah. And we spoke to Beat Muchini and he let us know that this song that you guys are going so crazy for right now is rather old.
Yeah. 2013, 2014, 2013, I think that's when it was recorded. But it was, you know, not long after that saga with the police. It was run about that time, you know, where I just kind of went into, you know, hiding and working on some new music. Yeah, and as we're about to drop it, I don't know, man, you know, and I always feel bad because Muchini had the vision. He was like, this is a smash.
Right.
My team was just like, we're not sure if this is ready to go, if this is the direction.
Yeah.
And we had parked that joint for a while, and then I think MV then ended up jumping on the beat.
Yeah.
And did Friends. And then, you know, the joint had been parked. It was just there. It was bugging me. I was just like, nah, this would be, yo, I have to drop it. You know, I reached out to MV and said, listen, man, I got a new album about to drop, and I wanna drop this joint, you know, and can I get your blessings? Can we break bread? He said, sharp. So shout out to MV, man, you know? Yeah. And, you know, Maje Aitobeta is what, you know what it means, right?
No.
Maje Aitobeta means life is good. Maje is like rocks.
Yes.
Stones. Yeah, it's a Swana saying. Or it means basically you better belly. Like like Himunati. You know what I'm saying? Majaitobeta means life is good. And that joint for me was like paying homage to, you know, everybody that, you know, played a role in my career, and also just as a human being, Little Todi, KG, Mulimi, L Scales, Prof of Buffy Tlile, and and it was just like, it's one of those joints that I listen to it now, and I'm like, thank God I made a song like this. Because it's starting to feel like Majaitobeta.
That's dope. I always love hearing it. Guys, Gomorrah, big shout out to Gomorrah.
Shout out to Gomorrah.
Big shout out to Gomorrah. And not just for the way that they play you, but the way that they are so intentional about playing South African hip hop. I love that vibe, especially because the Gomorrah setting for the show is very hood. And people might have been like, no, let's just get some kwaito, wada. But the way that they weave in the SA hip hop is super, super dope. So shout out to them.
Shout out to Kutran and Tabang.
I find that a lot of the times artists will delve more into certain things or open up about certain things in the music more. But it was very, very interesting to me when I heard it. I think I heard it on Diary, as well as on, I don't remember the second joint, but I heard you speak about it twice on this particular album. And I wanted to speak to you about you and your dad and where we are with that, because I think the line was, after the shooting he didn't reach out, and then the other line was, after 10 years we're still not okay. And it's interesting for me because you are a dad.
Yeah.
And a very active, proud, loud dad.
Yeah.
So talk to me about that.
Yeah, and I think, becoming a father, being a father made me more consciousness of fatherlessness. I grew up in a neighborhood where that was normal. A lot of my friends were, was either a stepdad or raised by a single mom, so it didn't bother me much.
Right.
It only started really messing with me as I grew older, and you're a father, and you now getting married, and now I'm married, and yeah, that void is there. It really starts to mess with you, and I started acknowledging it, and I think for me that's how I deal with it, by talking about it in the music. You know what I mean? For the longest, I'll be real with you, I'd kind of gotten used to the way the situation was. After I got shot, I really thought that was the perfect moment to mend things, anybody would. So so when that didn't happen, I was like, oh, okay, I guess that's how the cookie crumbles. Let's close this chapter. I mean, it still saddens me because we're going through the worst time right now. Life is not guaranteed, and it's so short. But hey, I've had to man up and go, you know what, I'm gonna do things different. You know what I mean? And I know lots of guys who are going through what I'm going through, have been through what I've been through. Is that can never be an excuse. You're gonna have to pick up the pieces and be a better man. I
remember there was a time where I was having a conversation in high school, and someone said something to me, and I was like, ugh, this cuts. And it's something that I've been afraid to have a conversation about because it's just so sensitive. So when I was 10, my dad passed away. So in that sense, there's that kind of fatherlessness. The fatherlessness where he didn't make a decision to not be there. And I remember I had a friend in high school who, her dad was alive but wasn't in her life. And she said, you're really lucky your dad passed away, because you'd rather not have him in your life in that way than to know that he's around and isn't choosing you.
It cuts really deep.
How do you feel about those two different kinds of? Because pain is pain.
No, it cuts deep when just the absence, of a father, and thank God I also got exposed to I'd say guys like Prof, who's like my big brother, and watching him raise his daughter, and how he wasn't fazed by the money, whether he's rich enough to do it or you understand me. So I also took some learnings from big brothers who are just watching and going, geez, money shouldn't be an excuse. Just being present is enough. You understand me? That's it. So I could totally relate to your friend. So hey man, a lightning could strike, things could change, we'll mend things, but until then, we keep it moving. All right, we're gonna keep it moving. We're gonna get back to lightening things up. My favorite joints on the album is what's about to play right now. I'm curious.
And it's also got that thing that I was talking about, those adlibs that I like, that sneak up out of nowhere. Khuli Chana, Toady Mac. That's what's coming up right now. We're going to talk about it on the other side of this. Talk to me about one, two, these skits.
I found this skit on Twitter. I'm just like, anytime now, these guys gonna sue me. I'm waiting. I found it on Twitter. It was like one of those, what's it called? What's that? Is it Mad Lip? What's that?
Mad Lips.
I was like, yo, I need this skit on the album. And then Kloba Monati, that hook is something we used to do just Morafi. I say mo Morafi, but it was the hook I came up with, and then Humanati Tata, that comes actually from like like a hymn. Real talk. Yo, the way I sample is a little different. I like, comes from a hymn we used to sing back in primary school. Como nati tata. So, you know, I just, yeah. And then, once again, Toady whipped my butt on the song. Jesus, I got scars. I told you that date back
so
to
why
like
do you
2000.
keep calling him? Why do you keep calling him back?
Because I know he's my sniper. I know he gets the job done. You know? Right. Yeah, he's big bro. So I can take a beating from Toady.
Malume Kill. Oh. Talk to me about your relationship with both Toady and Cageism, because I think in this industry especially, brotherhoods and friendships can be very fickle.
Yeah.
1 minute we're squad, the next minute we don't mess with each other.
Yo, tell me about it.
That's not the case.
Tell me about it.
Talk to me about how you guys have managed to stay loving each other the way that you do, regardless of the success that you all have attained individually.
Yeah, because I think, you know, our relationship, you know, goes a whole lot deeper than, you know, fame, popularity, and, you know, we're brothers. Right. You know, Nalero Toady are cousins, and Mulimi and KG and Little Toady went to primary school together. Yeah. There's a real bond beyond music industry, you know, and thank God, you know, like I always tell the story, and I always tell, like, I wouldn't have when solo wasn't for Toady. That was Toady's idea. Yeah, that was all Toady. He was like, yo, you should go solo. Nobody will ever see that coming, you know. So I think it has a lot to do with the selflessness and looking out for each other, and that we do very, like, effortlessly. Yeah. I love that. And it's rare. That's true. It's rare. Like, you know, like, I hardly move squad deep. Was a time I moved squad deep. Yes, sir. As you grow, you just like, that ain't it. Alrighty, so we're about to leave, but let's talk Basadi. Yeah. Cassper Nyovest, because I'm going to close out with it. Yeah. I love the music video. Yeah. I love the song. And I love the fact that Cassper's on production. Yeah, so Cass hits me up before I wrapped up the Planet of the Have-Nots. Yeah. I think it was a tweet. It's like, dude, I hope you haven't wrapped up the album. I got something for you. You know, I called him. I'm like, yo, send it. He's like, nah, I'm not going to send it. Come to the house. Come to the house, you know. And he was like, no, you're going to come to the house. We're going to work on this thing together. He didn't want to do the send you a beat. I'm on the other side. And went over there. I listened to the joint. And I was just like, God damn. If that was my beat, I wouldn't give it to anybody. I'd keep the good ish to myself, you know. And he was like, yo, I want you to channel Konka. I want us to channel Jabba. And that's why you pick up a lot of Jabba on there. You know, his second verse, I think he referenced Hebana, Gebata, yeah. And yeah, man, one of the best sessions I've ever had. And I think we had also come full circle. I mean, we did All Hail, but it was like one of those where he's on the other side, I'm on the other side. Ichu, I was there for that session, but it was just, and it didn't. I mean, the song is great, but I think this one over here, you can feel the energy. Yes, we can. The energy, the chemistry was just right. Joe, thank you so much, Khuli. We're done. Thank you, Wazizi.